Hello, so I'm going to make this video to show you how to navigate this journal and kind of give you a basic overview of how to use it. So this right here is the cover page. There's no links or anything, just pretty pictures to make it look like you're at your desk. So here I have the index, and it's also linked up right here in that tab, where it gives you everything that's in this journal just on one page. So you have week 1, 2, and 3, which is also linked up right here in these tabs. And then you have the specific days within the week. And then you have all the tabs right here, also right here. And so this is just like a go-to if you're like, I don't know what I want to do first. This is kind of a go-to to see everything that you have in the journal. So we're going to start out with a how-to. And I click on that link, and it takes me to this page, which will give you a very basic overview of how to use the journal and how to answer the questions that will be presented. I will also post this video right here that I'm doing right now, and then I'll have another video that gives you a more specific idea into what it looks like to answer these questions in a more direct way. I'm a very visual learner, so it's helpful to see an example of things. Without going into much detail, these show you the key components of the journal itself. This shows you what you'll be doing in the morning reflection and the reason it's there. Same with drop-in reflection and evening reflections. These are the 3 things that are actually in the journal that you will use daily. So moving on to scripture. This tab is here for reference, and it's mostly when you're like in the middle of week 1 and it asks for an affirming scripture, or if you're in the middle of the day and it's asking for a scripture here, you can go to this tab right here and find some basic scriptures that are about renewing your mind, about being true, honorable, just, pure, all these things that are in Philippians 4:8. That are just like basic starting points that I found that would hopefully be helpful. I also left some space for you to fill in your own go-to scriptures as well. Moving on to meditation, we're already over here, but if you're ever in another tab, you could always go directly to meditation, and this will take you to the same page. Here I have resources and helpful tidbits on how to biblically meditate. I have an app that helps you memorize, a video that talks about memorization, and some links to a tip, to several tips on how to memorize. There's also writing prompts, and so it might be easier to explain this if I go back to week 1 and then I go over to here. Under meditation, I have options for you to circle on that day what you want to do, if you want to memorize, write, sing, pray, or do something else. And so I just wanted to provide resources for you to not feel like you don't know what to do in that moment. And so these are just, writing prompts, and this is a music playlist. This is Apple, and this is Spotify. And then this is a blog that takes you to a number of songs that have scripture and are scripture based. And then here is this right here, this right here talks about what it looks like to pray scripture and how to use scripture in your prayer. These 2 are blogs about it, and this is a website about it. The very bottom, you're going to have links to 4 different meditation apps. I personally use this one, but it does cost a subscription, and most of these, if not all of these, cost subscription. But you can go in there and do like a daily one that they provide. I know for sure these 2 you can do daily. Not sure about these 2. Moving on to resources. This tab is a tab that you can use to kind of deepen or add to your renewing your mind and into the topic of renewing your mind. I have 2 slots that are still empty, and I'll fill those in by the time that I give this out. But these are some basic ones that I found that are helpful. These 3 right here are by the same author, and it's about taking thoughts and using science to redirect those thoughts. And I really appreciate Dr. Caroline Leaf because she kind of combines science with Christianity, and that's very rare in many circles. So this is just basic stuff that you can go to and deepen your knowledge in all of this. One added thing is if you click in the middle at any time, it takes you back to this first cover. So all that being said, I'm going to take you through week 1 and show you what I have. When you press week 1, you will have this come up, and then you will have added all the days for that week. So I could do day 2 and it will show me day 2. If I have day 4, it will show me day 4. And going back to day 1, you'll notice that I have a picture here, and I'll go into depth about that more in the other video. If you're in this morning reflection, you can just swipe right and it'll take you to the drop-in of reflection for that day. And then you swipe right again and it'll take you to the evening reflection for that day. And if you swipe again, you'll go into day 2 and it will start all over, and it will take you all the way to day 7. When you get to day 7, you can swipe over 1. Actually swipe over 1 and it'll take you to week 2. But if you don't want to keep on swiping, you can press week 2 and it takes you to week 2, same with week 3, and so on and so forth. That is it for this overview. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me or message me.